So hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining today. In this webinar, we will exploring the topic of emotional intelligence. So this is all about how we manage our own emotions and how well we understand to emotions of others. So hello and thank you for joining me today again. So my name is Tajana, and I've been deeply involved in personal development for many years. My specialty is self-awareness, and in just a moment I will explain why this is such a powerful tool in both personal and professional life. So before we dive in, let me briefly introduce myself. So through my life, I faced many challenges, and from a very young age, I was drawn to spirituality, psychology, and the journey of self-awareness. I hold master in management along with a qualification in positive psychology, relationship psychology, NLP, PET therapy, what is belongs to field of spiritual energy psychology, life coaching, mindfulness meditation. I also member of Complementary Medical Association. But I want to be clear, diplomas don't define me. My deepest learning has come through experience. It was in a quite challenging moments of life that I truly practiced self-awareness, not just on a surface level. So I was approach this from more than one angles, emotionally, spiritually, and scientifically. So I didn't just live it. I study this question and continue to evolve through. So today my mission is to help others reconnect with themselves, to identify their emotions, patterns, behavior, and inner beliefs. Because once we begin to truly understand ourselves, we naturally start to understand others. And this is the foundation of emotional intelligence. So, at the heart of it is a self awareness, the ability to observe your thoughts, emotions, and reactions with the clarity and compassion. So, by the time we reach age around 30, we often find ourselves doing so many things automatically. So we follow routines, react to situations, make decisions, all based on habits, past experience, or beliefs we are never really questioned. So it's like we are in our autopilot. So think about when you first started driving. I believe many of you drive. So at the beginning, you're focused on everything, where to go, mirrors, gear, sign, fully alert and present. But after some time, and especially if you go to work, for example, at the same place and taking the same route every day, it becomes routine. So you start driving more automatically. That's exactly how many of us react in a daily life too. So we run on autopilot, but the good news is just like we train our brain to drive that way, we can also train to respond differently. So we become more aware, more intentional, and create that space for change by gently stepping out of the routine and doing the inner work. So let me give you one example. So imagine someone who as a child was often criticized by parents. So now as an adult, whatever they receive feedback at work, they automatically feel defensive and anxious, reacting as if they are being harshly judged. So this reaction isn't about the current feedback, but rather the past negative experience influencing this present moment. So accepting this difficult feeling means acknowledging. So I feel anxious and defensive right now because this reminds me of being criticized as a child. So instead of immediately reacting, they can pause and recognize that the present situation is different. So this awareness creates this space to choose a response, such as calmly considering the feedback instead of reacting defensively. By allowing this feeling to be acknowledged and understood rather than suppressed or act impulsively, they can let go of this automatic reaction. So this break the cycle of past experience shaping their present response. Denying negative thoughts and feeling can be bad for your mental health. In fact, the opposite of allowing these thoughts to exist can be risk factor. So accepting helps you get through any unpleasant experience. So how you can practice managing trigger situations. So when you notice yourself feeling triggered, like anxious, defensive, take a few deep breaths to calm your body and mind. So this helps create space between the trigger and your reaction. Silently name what you're feeling. For example, say to yourself, I feel anxious or defensive right now. Accept that emotions without any judgment. So reflect on whether these feelings is familiar from the past experience. You might think this reminds me of being criticized as a child. Recognize that the current emotions may not be entirely about the present situation. Gently tell yourself this is not the same situation as before. Notice how these present circumstances are different from the past. Decide how you want to respond rather than reacting impulsively. For example, take a moment to consider the feedback calmly or ask for clarification. Let this emotion pass through you without any suppressing it. So visualize it's fading away as you consciously let go of automatic reaction. So self-awareness is what helps us pause, reflect, and understand why we do what we do. So we can start living with more intention instead of just repeating old patterns. But another truth is that we can work on something if we are not even aware of. The other things is understanding other emotions. So recognize and understand the meaning, function, and motivation behind the other's emotional reaction and responses. It's a part of emotional intelligence, and it's not about being nice. It's a leadership skill. So when someone reacts emotionally, especially in the ways that we find difficult, it's easy to just jump to assumption. So, for example, one person always anxious because of deadlines. So maybe that person, so we can think, oh, maybe that person is not good for this role. But what is really behind this story? So it could be a result of this person perfectionism that creates pressure and stress, unexpressed frustration about maybe team imbalance or lack of support. It could be burnout from overwork or lack of recognition. So assumption shuts down connection. So emotional intelligence asks us to pause, reflect, and listen to understand rather than judge or react. And this is not about being nice, it's about being effective. It's about leading with awareness. And it's about creating this culture where people feel seen, understood, and supported. So leaders who master this not just manage people, they unlock potential. And another thing I would like to share with you today, it's about communication. And it's not just with others, but with ourselves. So positive self-talk is powerful. The way we speak to ourselves matters, and even the words we choose can shape how we feel and what we believe is possible. So, for example, I always ask my clients, what challenge are you facing at the moment? So why music always challenge, but not the problem? So I will explain now. So a problem is often seen as something negative or difficult that causes stress or discomfort. So when we say I have a problem, the brain can go in this survival mode and it feels stuck, maybe even panicked. So solution is feel far away. But when we say I have a challenge, it shifts the perspective. A challenge is something that requires effort and growth. It implies there is a way forward and that we are capable of raising to it. So this small shift in language helps activate mindset of curiosity and action rather than fear or avoidance. So next time, if you feel stuck, try to ask yourself, what challenge am I facing and what can I learn from it? Because behind any challenge is a lesson. And I will give you one more example of overcoming internal barrier, power of language. So let me offer this simple but powerful exercise. So you can write down or you can do it later, it doesn't matter. So write sentence in a I want to, then insert your goal, but then insert your fear or doubt. So for example, I want to start a new business, but I'm afraid I will fail. So if you read this loud, notice how this but minimizes your dreams and puts your fear in control. So um, you have just given more power to your fear than you desire. But now, if you rewrite your sentence, but instead of but, you put and. So I want to start a new business and I'm afraid I will fail. So this is now different. The fear is still there, but it's no longer the obstacles. So you acknowledge it while still moving forward. You're accepting your fear and taking action with fear, but you're not waiting to disappear. And this final reflection that I don't really like using much often, but this is important now in this exercise. So imagine you're nearing the end of your life, sitting with someone you love. You reflect on this choice you made. So reflection one is I always wanted to start my own business, but I didn't have the courage to do that. And reflection two is I always wanted to start my own business and I was brave enough to try, even I thought it didn't work out as planned at first. So which version do you want to tell? In the end, the question is simple. What kind of person do you want to be? So if you're just starting with self-awareness, one easy exercise to do during the day, it helps you calm down if you are some stress situation, or just stay in the present moment. And it's good to practice a few times during the day, definitely. So sitting up or laying down. So find comfortable position you can. Release any unnecessary tension and gently bring your awareness to your breath. You only need to observe your breathing. So do not change anything. Observe the movements and sensation in your body with each inhalation and exhalation. So let your attention travel with the air passing through your nose and throat to your lungs, feeling this expansion of the chest and belly. And if you practice that just for a few days, even just in the morning, during the day, evening, you feel the difference. self-awareness means identifying, accepting, and transforming. So the more honest we are with ourselves, the easiest the journey becomes. And if you're looking for personal support or want to offer some personal development to your team, so feel free to contact me. You can find information in this chat. You can contact me directly on LinkedIn, and we can see how we can work together. And I truly appreciate you being with me today. And please keep practicing gratitude. It's a powerful daily habit also. So even on the most ordinary days, there is always at least one thing so we can be thankful for. And I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to share my work and connect with all of you. And thank you for watching me today.